Good Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Sunday, the 19th of June, 2022. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to take a look at some of the weirdness going on out there. We're going to get right in there. We're going to open up the charts right here and take a look. Uh, Kansas ranchers. Thousands of cows dead on feedlots. Hansel County. Uh, they're just dropping like flies, the cows. And I mean, we're talking, I don't know, it could be as many as tens of thousands, but it's in the thousands anyway. Says cattle insurance does not cover the heat losses. They're saying heat losses is what they're saying here. But with so much other stuff going on, I mean, there's people who are talking and there's whispers going on behind the scenes. What is this? Have we ever seen anything like this before? I'm going to tell you something about it. I'm not going to eliminate in my mind the possibility of heat losses to these ranches and these cows. But on the other side of this coin, I do know it takes an awful lot of heat to kill an animal. I think it takes more heat to kill an animal than it does to kill a person. And I'm just wondering to myself, have we seen people dying from this this heat in Kansas, or is it just cows? And a lot of question marks in my mind about this. But I mean, what do you guys think? When we take a look at some of this other stuff that's going on, here's an article that says, "Did high heat and humidity really cause Kansas cattle deaths?" The latest look at potential losses. They're losing. It says here they're losing possibly as many as 5, and it's continuing. By the way, they're losing possibly as many as 500 head of cattle per day. They're losing. That's a lot of meat being gone. This is American meat, American-made meat. So what they're quoting here is, it says, there's no way of knowing just how many cattle have died from the heat this week. Reuters quoted the Kansas Department of Health and Environment. They're saying at least 2,000 head of cattle. Very possible 5,000 head of cattle. It says, but the talk of 10,000 head. There's talk. Don't know for sure what the actual number is, but they're saying 500 head per feedlot out here. Basically, they're saying it's a lot of cattle. Basically, they're saying that's a lot of cattle. And the explanation so far, according to what they're saying, is high heat. Heat is doing it. I just don't know. Big question mark in my mind as far as that's concerned. Now, here's a big list. You see this list? I'll just go down the list. Food plants are just mysteriously, I'll call it mysteriously because it's just so many of them, places that process food, places that create our food, places that are responsible for bringing our food to the grocery stores. Here's a big list here. It says a fire at Mammoth Smithfield Foods pork processing plant. They say it's under investigation. A blaze breaks out at Smithfield pork plant in Illinois. 3-alarm fire at the Kellogg's plant. 170 emergency personnel responded to the call. Nebraska beef plant, again beef, damaged by fire. Fire severely damaged family-owned Cobb Meat Company. Cattle's crews battle major fire at Cobb facility. Tyson Poultry Plant in Huntsville, Alabama. Large fire. Large fire damages Idaho Darigold Plant. Another investigation into Caldwell Darigold Plant fire. Fire destroys Garrett County Food Pantry. Woman charged in Garrett County Food Pantry fire. Fire erupts at meat processing facility in Lackawanna County. Maidrite fire. There's a big fire place called Maidrite. West Side food processing plant left with smoke damage after fire. Storage freezer caused a fire at West Side warehouse. Crews battle stubborn fire at Hamilton Mountain. Damage in the millions. Firefighters work over 12 hours putting out LeCompte feed mill fire. North Carolina fertilizer plant is burning. And now fertilizer is what we need to create next year's crops, for food, again for food. State opens investigation in the Winston Weaver fertilizer plant fire. It's another one. Wisconsin River Meats opens for business after nearly total loss. I guess fire again. Fire kills at least 130 cows at Stowe's Dairy Farm. Fire destroys Percy's family barn. Commercial building fire in South El Paso sparks demands from residents. Employers laid off after fire guts Oregon potato chip plant. Fire at largest U.S. soybean processing plant. Farmers trying to help out after a St. Albans fire. 3 exposed to chemical spills at Fremont poultry plant. Chemical leak at Costco chicken supplier. Fire destroys Deli Star meat plant. Chemicals burn in Sunnyside agricultural plant. Private contractors hired to clean up after fire at Sunnydale fertilizer plant. Fires injures man on farm outside Lincoln. Days after bird flu confirmed in chicken flock in southeastern Missouri. And by the way, they are culling birds left and right all over the place for this chicken thing that's bird flu or whatever it is. They're just culling them. They basically kill them and they bury them or whatever. There's our chicken gone. So our beef is gone. Now our chicken is going away with all this avian influenza. Honest to God, and then we got swine flu in the pork herd. That's been taking a toll on swine. Swine flu, it pops up every now and again, and they have to call entire plants of that, and there's so much more. I'm only down to here, and look at this. It just keeps on going and going and going and going and going and go. It'd be too long for me to do my show to quote all of these different fires that they got going on out there, and bird flus, and this our eggs. So we're not going to have any eggs in the end. We're not going to have any chickens. We're not going to have any pork, and we're not going to have any beef. And of course, the grain supply with no fertilizer is only going to be about a half crop. And then we got this enormous drought out in the west where they can't grow anything on one side of the country. We only got half of the country they're going to have a growing season. And then on top of it all off, we got things like going on over in Russia right now, where they're blockading all the Ukrainian wheat, which is like 25% of the world's wheat supply. It's millions, hundreds of thousands, tons and tons and so much you can't imagine how much is being blocked off. Okay, but that's not all, folks. I sound like one of these guys that does the info commercial. That's not all. Get ready for more. There's these crazy storms. Look at this. I get this photo here. These are hailstones. Look at the size of them in that guy's hand right there. Look at the size of that hailstone. Do you know if that thing hits you? Look, here's 2 of them holding in the hand. These hailstones. These are the storms. You guys got to watch out for this. Really, this is a potential danger. It doesn't matter where you live in the continental United States, or they're hitting in Europe too. They're hitting all over. I can only describe these storms as being apocalyptic, end times type storms. Amazing kind of storms. And when you see one coming, don't just sit there and look at the sky and say, oh, isn't that a lovely storm? And you're out some sunny afternoon. And all of a sudden the sky starts to get dark, and you're standing there looking at it because it's coming at you. And you got to find shelter, or you could get killed, seriously. Take a look at some of... Now look, this is Mexico. This is hail. And look at the amount of hail that's come down. And that's ice. That police officer standing on ice. And that's Guadalajara, Mexico. Aren't we going to say something in the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? That's Guadalajara, Mexico. And it's 4 feet deep in ice. You know, and look at what these storms look like. Honest to God, guys, they look like this. If you see something that looks like this coming, a strange looking storm that looks like that, it's got these funny looking, what they call shelf clouds. Run for cover. Don't sit there admiring it. Don't sit there gawking at it and say, oh, isn't that weird looking and stuff. Find shelter. And find strong shelter. Don't just go underneath a beach umbrella or something like that. You got to get someplace where you got a strong building that's got a strong roof on it or something. Don't just hop in your car. These things can smash windows out. You're not even safe inside your car in these kind of storms when it comes. And you don't have... Sometimes they have tornadoes in them. Sometimes they don't. But even if they don't have a tornado, when they hit, the winds can pick you right up and blow you. I mean, and the hail the size of your fist is coming down, pounding, and it's cracking trees off, and people are dying in these storms now. These apocalyptic storms, and they're all over Europe. We're seeing them all over Europe. The people have never seen anything like this before. They're like in awe. So we got some weird stuff going on in the world right now, and I wanted to point some of it out to you guys. Thank you for listening to the Delta Report. Stay tuned. Stay safe. Have a nice rest of the weekend. And I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you guys think all these food processing plants burning down are coincidental? The list is so long, it's as long as your arm. Most of them have burned. Oh, just coincidence? All these cows just dropping dead? Just coincidence? And it's all surrounding our food. In fact, everything that's been happening is surrounding our food. And, you know, I would not be a bit surprised if next year there's only half as much food in the world. And I mean, we were just squeezing by feeding 8 billion people. Well, you know, if there's only half as much food in the world next year, a lot of people see this happen, all these things happen, and they say to themselves, you know, it'll be the same next year as it is this year. There'll be plenty of food. You know, there's plenty of food right now. I go to the grocery store and there's plenty of food. What they're not realizing is these things are cumulative, and they take a while before they come into effect. In other words, you see the food being destroyed now. It's like 6 months from now is when you feel the effects of that food that's destroyed now. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the very next video. Bye-bye.